Hello, my name is Potwasher and I won the ExG Challenge Tournament number 8. I will now be reviewing the top 16 games I played on stream. I haven't reviewed any of these games yet, so uh, I'll be going into this with minimal preparation in that regard. I'm gonna have the top 16 deck lists in a second window, and I'll be referring to that often during this review. This is mainly for my own sake to see which plays I could have done better, and also to um, help other people uh, and let people know what kind of things a competitive player is thinking while playing in these uh, like $60 money matches and such. Okay, we're gonna jump right into me versus Azure124. This is losers round 4. Already a lot on the line. I think this is top 8, something like that, top 6. And we go straight into a forest mirror. Before we start, the lineups are for me, Sword, Daria, Albert Sword, instead of something like Aggro Sword or Control Sword. It's Albert Sword, and then Pure Daria rune with kind of a lighter setup, not Daria, Angelic Snipe, and Demonic Strike, Angelic Snipe instead of Demonic Strike, and you can't see it, but Forest. Yeah, the ban was on Daria Rune, and Azure is playing Control Blood, Control Haven, Guardian Sun Haven, and Wolf Bolt. We are playing the exact same forest list. And Azure banned my Daria, and I banned his Control Blood. The reasoning behind banning his Control Blood was that I was totally expecting him to ban my Forest because it had very good matchups against both his Control Blood and Control Haven. Generally, Wolf Bolt is very favored against both of those because they can't pressure hard enough, uh, and Wolf Bolt can just set up a huge combo win turn, typically around turn 9 ish, sometimes earlier with Roach, turn 7, 8. Yeah, but generally around turn 9 is where you get the lethal. So I was completely thinking he would ban Forest, meaning I would be left with Sword and Rune. And with Albert Sword and Daria Rune, I didn't want to face Control Blood, so I banned Control Blood. I was talking with Azure earlier, and he said he was expecting a Haven ban, and Haven versus Blood, Control Blood is so it's really hard to know which to ban, but I felt I had a better chance with Sword against Haven than against Blood, and I'm not quite sure about that, and I'll have to rethink that if I ever face a similar lineup, which I think it's very likely. Azure did very well, and he did very solidly against some of the most common decks, so I'll definitely keep that in mind. Okay, let's jump into game number 1. And I got it completely wrong. He banned my Daria, and so I had Forest and Sword against Forest and Haven. Let's start game number 1. Okay, Azure is going second. Second is generally a little bit favored. Okay, as for mulligans, yeah, I got Elf Child May and Ancient Elf going first. That's pretty premium keeps right there. Uh, Yeah, depending on the class, I would actually consider throwing away Ancient Elf. It's something I've been doing recently because you typically don't play Elfchild May until like turn 3 going second, which means you'd rather play Goblin Mage on turn 3 or Angel of the Word going on turn 3. So I've been tossing Ancient Elf a lot. In this matchup, it's likely he goes um, Fairy Circle into Fairy Fairy. It's still like Fairy Fairy going second on turn 2. He plays those two, and then I would react with Elfchild May on turn 3, meaning um, Elfchild May is always going to be a 3 mana play, so I can really toss Ancient Elf here. But Ancient Elf is also very important in the matchup in general, setting up wards around uh, so that the Roach can't get chip damage in, like Fairy Roach. Ancient Elf is a very common play. Allows me to do that play. It's a very versatile card, so I'm gonna keep it in Mulligan. Although at this point, I know I'm probably not going to play it on turn 3. That's why I've been tossing it in Mulligan against a lot of classes. I know I'm not going to play it on turn 3. As for Azure, yeah, you toss 5 mana, 8 mana cards. I would even toss Sylvan Justice. Going second, you can keep it. Actually, you can keep it. If I had Fairy Circle, it acts kind of like a May without the 1/1. Yeah, Fairy Circle, Fairy Fairy going first, and then you can react with the Sylvan Justice, and then I play a 3/4, and then you. Oh, excuse me. Sorry about that. Um, and then turn 3, you play something. The 3/4 Ancient Elf trades or whatever, and then you can evo into the small Ancient Elf. The most important thing is to not let the Ancient Elf become a 4/5. That's the most important thing. Going into turn 4, going second, not to let Ancient Elf be a 4/5. So Ancient Sylvan Justice is fine. Pina Nature's Guidance, not bad. Nature's Guidance. Yeah, Nature's Guidance also has utility in that if Azure had a Fairy Circle here, um, you can make Guidance May. Yeah. This is the thing with the Wolf Bolt Mirror. A lot of the time, you don't have any plays until turn 3. And as I mentioned before, uh, I didn't have anything to do with the May. I'm not playing the Ancient Elf down on turn 3. So I knew this was going to happen. The Ancient Elf is like going to be smaller if you play it turn 3 with this hand. And yeah, I I knew that and still kept the Ancient Elf this time. And in a perfect world, I play May Ancient Elf and make a 4/5 next turn, but he has a Sylvan Justice. And I've May. He kept the Fairy in hand this turn. Really, really interesting. Whoops. He kept the Fairy in hand, and it was actually really annoying. Uh, Man, can't go to the turn. Call the mage. So going into turn 4, going second, means that you have the first evo point, the first evolution turn, and as you can see, there's nothing that he can evolve here, and that means that Azure can keep the fairy in hand and evolve over like a goblin mage or something. It's very typical for me to have a goblin mage, or I'm playing Angel of the Word, so maybe Angel of the Word, turn 4 going first. Plays like that are very common, and so I kept 2 cards in hand, played out a goblin mage, so if I were Azure and if I weren't card counting, then I would expect the two cards to be kept to be Goblin Mage and then something else. And Goblin Mage has a 50% chance to get a May, so there's a high chance that I have a May, which means the fairy, playing out the fairy would not help much this turn. Very, very nicely played. I think it's very easy to just automatically play it out, but kept it in hand. Here, I play Fairy Ancient, May Ancient Elf. And I do a slight misplay by using the fairy that I kept in opening hand rather than the one I drew from Goblin Mage. That revealed a little bit more information, but shouldn't matter too much. I decide to make the 3/4 Ancient Elf. I don't like to do this play, but so 3/4 Ancient Elf. I'm expecting turn 4 something like EPM Elf Princess Mage, and then into Elf Princess Mage I can either Sylvan Justice or May May. And that's about all I was thinking about. I just wanted a proactive play. I didn't want to pass that turn, so I decided to just play it out, make him evolve. He draws the Goblin Mage. If he didn't have it, he would have been in pretty big trouble, but yeah, pretty typical. So he's played, Azure has played, one Sylvan Justice, one Goblin Mage. Okay, yeah. And here, yeah, I want to keep the pressure going, so I EPM Evo and Elfchild May. I have a really light hand, and I don't have any roaches. I would have loved for the draw from the Goblin Mage to have been a roach, but I have a really light hand, and it's kind of worrying for me right now. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, Fortune Hunter Fino. Yeah, no other play there. And a very important decision, whether or not to play out the zero cost fairy. Almost every time you play it, unless you have a Tia in hand. And the reason for that is Goblin Mage, unlike the zero cost fairies, has 2 attack, which means that if you play it on board and the opponent can't get rid of it and it gets 2 damage into face, it's the same as comboing 1 roach twice or comboing with 2 roaches. So to get effective value out of the Goblin Mage, you have to attack with Roach 3 times in the 0 cost turn. And that's typically pretty difficult, which means you only keep Goblin Mage in hand after Fina Evo if you have Tia in hand. So pretty much always keep, which means I knew he had a Tia in hand. So I'm expecting Tia next turn here. Yeah, Sylvan Justice, I have 2, and kind of a weak turn. I think I have to pass here. Yeah. Not a lot of other options. I see the Wolf in the future, turn 8. And then maybe if I draw a Roach sometime, that's what I'm thinking about. Not too much. I don't have any Tias, I don't have any Roaches. It really looks bad. And he goes for the 75% May here. And gets it. And Tia. Yeah, very strong. 75% May, you go for it every time. Tia. Of course, I'm expecting this. Yeah, this next turn is really hard. So I just got a Goblin Mage. I have 0 cost fairies. I have a guidance. I have this is my second May, which means this Goblin Mage has a There's 1 May and 3 roaches, meaning 75% chance to get a roach. And I have a white wolf, which means if I suicide white wolf, if I have like 8 cards in hand or so, I'm not sure how many I'll have at the end of this turn, but I have 8 cards, then yeah, this is a really hard turn. Something around like 8 plus 0, 0, 1. So that's 3, and then 4, 6, 10, and then 14 plus the Evo pointer, something like that, and that should be close to lethal. If I mix in self-injustice or whatever. So that's what I'm thinking, but at the same time, it's a really scary board. Yeah, I think I definitely go for Goblin Mage first. I want to Suicide White Wolf next turn, and that's why I don't kill the Tia, but it's really hard to say. Yeah, I got the 75%. Really, really hard turn here. The options here are Sylvan Justice, Evo Fairy, May, or something. That's just really weak. 8 cards in hand, next turn 9 cards. So I can play one more card and still have 9 turns on turn 9. 9 cards on turn 9. I think I just select May Pass or something here. And Sylvan Justice, May Pass. Yeah, 003. 3 plus the Silver Bolt is 4 cards, and then 5, 7, 9. 5 plus 7 is 12, plus 9 is well over 20, so kind of see lethal. Yeah, kind of unfortunate hit there. Really wanted to hit the Tia, of course, and I can't afford to Evo here. Yeah, really, really greedy. Really, really greedy, but I didn't get punished. So looking at my hand, I have to combo on turn 9 or else there's no way I can win this game. Yeah, there's no way to win. So I'm playing to that out here. And in exchange, I have to take 6 damage. Except he ends up not attacking face with this Tia here. I mean the Eve. Let's look at some alternative plays here. Really complicated turn again. The first thing is, can you replay Tia? The answer is yes. And you have 2 White Wolf in hand, meaning you can just stall out the game using Tia and play for a Tia out. That works too. So alternative would be Guidance. You mill a card and then play Tia. Or go face. Yeah, Ancient Elf. Playing out the Ancient Elf makes your hand size 7, so you can return 2 to hand, which means you can go all face, burn the Eve, make a 5, 6, and then maybe play the Angel Award into the May, something like that. You don't really need the Eve. I think that sounds pretty good. The only thing is that 5, 6 is pretty bad size against the White Wolf. Yeah, I think something like that. Ancient Elf, go face, Ancient Elf, May. If it hits the 2-2, then snipe the 2-2 again using Angel of the Word. If it's the 1-1, shoot face. Maybe Evo something. Decide whether or not to Evo Attend. But I think I would have gone for something like that. Angel of the Word. I think he. Don't think he Ancient Elf. Did he Ancient Elf here? Guidance. Yeah, Guidance last. He could have used that Sylvan Justice to push damage face. And 6-2 ward is basically not having a ward at all. If I had Sylvan Justice plus 2 Roach, it would be close to lethal. Not really, but let's count it out. Turn 8, and 2 Roach combo, Roach Guidance, Roach. Takes 7 mana, so I couldn't play Sylvan Justice with it, meaning I would have to Evo Fairy into it. So 1-2, 2 1-mana cards, 0-0, Evo Fairy, 4, and then 5, 5 plus 7, 8. So that's 20 damage. Yeah, if I had one more 1-mana card and a second Roach, this would be lethal right here. Yeah, so he plays into that lethal. It's kind of a, yeah, can't really blame him for that, but the 6-2 ward is nothing. If you can Evo into it using a fairy, then it's nothing. And I'm at 18 health. He has 2 board slots clogged. He doesn't have any 0 mana fairies. I'm not afraid of lethal at all. Yeah, I just go for the White Wolf. Not scary at all. I get to save my Evo point even. So a huge mistake by Azure in my opinion. He has a clogged hand too. Yeah. So he wants to set up a ward. Really hard to play out the Tia. In fact, like impossible, I think. Guidance, burn something, Roach. You know, it's not feasible. Yeah, and that's another thing about having these 2 dudes on board. Kind of annoying. Probably Ancient Elf turn. You burn the Angel Lord. And then after here, you do want to play something. You can tempo out the Tia. Probably not. You can deal 6 damage using Roach. 2 Guidance 4. You can Roach. You can May Roach. You can May Roach Guidance. None of those look very appealing. Honestly, Tempo Tia might be good into Guidance next turn. Yeah. Try to push damage. That would have been like a cohesive plan if he went face with the Eve last turn. Then it would be like pushing damage and then dealing the rest of the damage with Roach. I think that would have been my plan using Azure's hand. He didn't have a bad hand, to be honest. He had a couple wards. He has roaches. I mean, not a bad hand. He could have played it a little bit differently. Might as well play roach, he says. Pushes a couple damage face. Yeah, and the next turn is really hard again. So I've had 2 Mays and 1 Roach, meaning there is 2 Roach and 1 May left. Fina Evo cleanly kills off this this ancient elf, and if I so 9, and then Fina, 0 cost. Roach. Is there enough board space? No, there's not enough board space. So Fina, go blue, 0 cost. Bolt, that's 4 cards, and then 5, 6 using Roach. So that's 11 plus 9. That's lethal. That's why I go straight for the Fina this turn. Thinking about this dude right here, Fairy Beast, but it just isn't correct here. Yeah, I think I roped out this turn, and this is the hardest turn. I was counting damage, counting board space. I did it right here pretty quickly because I knew what to think about, but basically I want to play at 2 Roach and the Silver Ball. That's lethal. And then there's enough mana for 5 plus 2 plus 2. And and I can only play 2 more 0 cost on the board along with it. So those are the important things. Of course, in a real game, you have to consider all the other options and things like that. The correct play here is to play Fina Gobu first, and then make a decision. If I miss the 66%, then it's really too bad. But yeah, I think I figured it out in the end, but it just takes a little bit too long. Plus, I draw the main, the 33% main. Sad life. Now there are 2 roaches and 0 mains. 66% lethal missed. Lethal here. Did he miss lethal? 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 10, 11. So he's like 1 off. Options here, Will of the Forest. Or play out Tia. So definitely play out Tia. Sylvan Justice, Fairy, Tia. I think that's the only play. You guidance the Tia afterwards. You're kind of low. Probably not enough time. Probably have to use the guidance using Roach. So I would save the guidance. Let's see what it does. Sylvan Justice. I think he went for Roach this turn. But never mind. Maybe it's the next turn. Okay. It would have been cool to see him push a little bit more damage phase and Evo aggressively. I'm not 100% sure if I had any turns where a Will of the Forest would have been good, but I guess on the Ancient Elf turn. No, on the Tia turn, I would rather Suicide White Wolf. Next turn, the 4/5 Ancient Elf. 4/5 Ancient Elf, I think I would rather have. I would rather have gone lethal with the 66%, but I guess it's somewhat likely that I've I have Will the Forest, but yeah, aggressive play might have paid off. I don't know. Yeah, now you can see the weakness of Silverbolt. Wolf is just too slow. That's the big thing. It's just too slow. It takes 2 turns to set up. You need to suicide. It's just extremely slow. I mean, it should be for like 18 damage using 2 cards, but and here there's a 100% lethal here, and I find it really sick. Kind of want to see if the casters spot this lethal. I'll turn the sound on. Wait.
The 2-0 cost fairies make this pretty terrifying to have 10 play points, a roach, and a nature's guidance.
Yeah, I don't
if he
think
pulls the second one, I think he can definitely take this game.
He does find a second roach.
The 2 fairies pushes the second roach into Eve, then he can just play the roach, diamond's roach. And I believe that's it for him.
Okay, good job.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that was 100% lethal. Good. In the game, I was pretty sure it was 100% lethal, but of course, there's the doubt in your mind, like, do I have 1 May left? The scary thing about the post-nerf Goblin Mage. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty sneaky lethal. You had to see the game. You have to be completely concentrated on the game to know that. And yeah, lethal 66% and then 100%. Really cool, really cool. Yeah, I thought I played that poorly after the game, but I think I did the I came to the best possible plays. The only thing was the Fina Evo turn into the Ancient Elf. I couldn't calculate that fast enough, and I ended up roping that turn. So I don't think I would have gotten lethal there. Yeah, you saw me like shoot the silver bolt randomly and stuff. It would have been pretty bad against the like a fairy beast or something. Yeah, that kind of ended up being a mistake. I was expecting the roach, and I just wanted to make sure I had enough time to get lethal, but no lethal. Too bad. Okay, forest versus sword. Albert sword. Lists are revealed. I'm playing Albert sword. It's playing the same list. Yeah, kind of easy keep for Azure to keep me. Wait, who's going first? I wrote this down. Sword versus forest. I was second. So whole sword swing, whether or not to keep. Man, this is really hard. Yeah, I thought a lot about this during the tournament as well. So, of course, you expect the worst. Fairy circle into fairy fairy. If your opponent's going first, fairy circle into fairy fairy into ancient elf. If you can't deal with that, you're gonna lose a third of your games or something to that. Sometimes it's inevitable, but if you have reactive cards, if you have quick later to trade, it's good. And also Albert going first. Albert Evo turn 5 going first with the board otherwise empty is extremely strong. You can't get rid of a 5/7 using like Eve Evo or Fina Evo or EPM Evo. So Albert's extremely strong on turn 5. So I'd like to keep it, but there's no 3 or 4 in sight, so I'm forced to keep it. Toss it, I mean. But I really would have liked to keep the Albert. So I think I kept these 2 cards. A lot of the time, yeah, going second. Going second, I keep Quick Blader, but going first, I toss Quick Blader. And this is because against Azure's specific list, Azure is never going to have a turn 1 play besides Fairy Circle. We can see that from his list. And he's never going to play out May on turn 1, whereas if you're going first, then Quick Blader. Oh yeah, I'm going second, so Albert's never keep. Fairy Circle, and then Quick Blader plays at 2 fairies or Fairy May, and then I Wholesale Swing a May or a fairy and trade into the other one. I have a 1/1. He doesn't have a board going into turn 3. He has to play something like Goblin Mage. I play Angel of the Word or something. Just game board. Going second before the Evo turn, game board. Very big. So I think I keep these 2 cards. Very hard though. Very hard decision. Yeah, usually I toss Quick Blader, but with Wholesale Swing, it's very good. And going second. Toss it going first. Toss Quick Blader going first. Glimmering Wings. If you draw into like Sylvan Justice, yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I got a 3-mana card. Perfect. Or perfect would have been like Angel of the Word, but it's close to perfect as you can get. There's an argument for not playing Fairy Circle or not playing fairies on turn 2, the Glimmering Wings, or pass with the Fairy Circle and Glimmering Wings on 2. You need to take tempo in this matchup, so Fairy Circle, Fairy. That's my conclusion. If it was a different matchup, you can keep the fairies or the Glimmering Wings, and it'd be fine. Fairy. Not gonna Suicide Roach or anything yet. And next turn is already pretty hard for me. I know he has Fairy. Plays out the Fairy. Do you Wholesale Swing or Veteran Lancer? Do you trade? Those are the 2 questions. And I draw an Angel of the Word. Really great card. Ancient Elf. So I'm going second. I can Evo first, which means I'd like to Evo with these cards into a 3/4 or smaller Ancient Elf. Which means I can Veteran Lancer trade, makes a 3/4, and then I can Wholesale Swing it off and trade in. I have a 1/1. He has nothing. He has 1 fairy in hand. That's not that great. I decided that wasn't that great. Think. Not quite sure. The other alternative is to Wholesale Swing this turn. And then he has to make a 2/3, and then I have to run a Novice Trooper into it. So Veteran Lancer is probably better. Yeah. If you trade for that, yeah. Another hard decision. You can deal with a 4-5 using the wholesale swing, but you end up with 1-1 against nothing, and then gets to pick up his fairies. So I think it's always better to trade here. Angel the Word for him is it's alright. You usually don't want to sacrifice all your fairies so much. Um, goes for the Goblin Mage and goes another Roach. Oh, it's unfortunate. Kind of want May here. Kind of want May. Kind of a clunky hand. Turn 3. Okay, options here. Angel of the Word, go base. Novice Trooper, trade into a 1-1. That's just like strictly worse. Wholesale Swing, you float 1 mana and you want to turn. That's the only turn 4 play you can see. So Angel of the Word, go base. Like almost 100%. You trade here. You would have played a 3-4 Ancient Oak here, right? So never trade with the Goblin Mage. In this specific scenario. Plus, you have to be the aggressor in this matchup. Yeah, carefully picking off the 1-1's really hard. Oh man, that's unfortunate for him. Here, Glimmering Wings, which, man. Really, really clunky hand for Azure. He had a really great starting hand, but yeah, this is a very rare clunky hand. Yeah, here's another hard turn. So I'm expecting something like Fina Evo next turn. Fina or EPM Evo. Fina is scarier, so you expect the Fina. Fina Evo. So my options are Maid Leader Pass, or Novice Trooper Hit Base Pass, or Novice Trooper Evo Pass. Novice Trooper Evo sets it at a 4-4, which means if Fina Evo's into it, it's left at 2 HP, which I can wholesale swing Novice Trooper. That's why I Evo here. Yeah. Dance of Death or Tia? You see the Fairy Beast, you see the Guidance. Not a lot of 1 cost. Next turn, you're expecting Albert. I would have played Floor Fencer here, so I don't have Floor Fencer. Yeah, so Tia, he played Tia, and Tia makes sense. Because you can't get rid of Albert, and I can't play Albert on this turn. But it plays straight into my trap. It's lagging a lot. Yeah. Doesn't have any fairies in hand, it's just very clunky. And I decide to... I see... Tsubaki plus Albert. Which means Tsubaki into turn 7, Maid Leader Albert is, by Evo preemptively, 6 plus 5, 11. Pretty much legal. I could have gone face with the Novice Trooper. That's what it means. But, just to be safe, I take it. For example, he's not going to play out Tia again this turn for sure, 100%. He has to have Ancient Elf to have a Tsubaki target. So it's unlikely Tsubaki's going to get value next turn, and then value and a ward at least. And then into Albert. So I think trade is better. And Evo points, you Albert stuff. What do you Evo? The Knight? And then you just like kind of stall out a little bit more with Will the Forest or something, and then I can't play out like multiple cards too comfortably. I can't like Alvidas or something, or play out third Novice Trooper. It's hard to make a wide board, so I want to discourage Will of the Forest. I want this 1/1 to live, basically. Yeah, it's kind of hard whether or not to Evo this Novice Trooper face. And then get 9, and then like Albert's Insight, get Tsubaki. But here I'm just going for the safe play. Yeah. Huh. Yeah, this was the weirdest turn. It's probably like I really want a ward. Then he has 3 cards in hand. These roaches aren't doing anything. And the roach attacking phase for 1 isn't doing anything either, that's the thing. After the game, I told him that he should have made a 4/5 Ancient Elf instead of a 5/6 to play around Tsubaki. Here instead, you can bait out Tsubaki using the Fairy Beast, and then bait out Tsubaki using Fairy Beast, and then make a big Ancient Elf, or Ancient Elf Evo into the Knight, and then Roach into the thing. Makes a 4/4, really weak. If I have Alvidas, it's like pretty much game over. I Evo the 2/3 Pirate, and then go face, and there's no way to deal with it. It's really hard overall. Might have even gone for Fairy Beast this turn. Because next turn you can Roach, Ancient Elf. Just this Roach right here is extremely weak. Yeah, that isn't worth 2 mana. It's not worth a card played. And you're very susceptible to Dance to Death or Tsubaki more, of course. Turn 6 Tsubaki. Plus 5/4 with 4 health. You can just Evo a 2/2. I can shoot the Angel Face and Evo into it, anything. Even if I didn't have Tsubaki here, I would be in a good spot because I saved the Evo point. And here, I have Albert Evo plus Tsubaki, which means it's 9. So I just, and then I have the Angel of the Word, which means that's kind of setting up lethal. So I Evo face here. He's out of evolves. You can't take the 3/3 using Sylvan Justice. Plus, this is out of Will of the Forest range. So, yeah. just better to evo here. You're gonna evo phase sometime, and you see the damage. You can count the damage. Um, yeah, here really nothing much to do. Roach, Guidance, Roach, Trade, try to draw a card. Dance to Death, doesn't do anything. Probably need to draw cards at this point. Fairy Beast, Guidance, Fairy Beast. I would be forced to take the Fairy Beast. So it's like a ward. Yeah, I don't think. Dance to Deathing 3/3 doesn't do much here. And I just set up lethal. I just make a wide board this turn. And there's no way to deal with the 6/5. He just used his Dance of Death. Yeah, there's zero way to deal with the 6/5. Sylvan Justice, very... oh. Sylvan Justice, very... what's it called? Tia? But Tia that doesn't even help. Sylvan Justice, May hits, trade and Evo phase, so no need to Evo, I guess. But it was impossible to get rid of the 6/5, so I think Evoing was fine there. It didn't matter either way in this case. And that is losers round 4, best of 3 against Azure. Five, six, seven. 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. Even Sylvan Justice wouldn't have helped with the Fairy Beast there. Okay. I will continue on and do the other games in another part. Thank you. Please let me know if you have any questions for any of the turns. Preferably with a screenshot if it's a specific turn. Let me know if you'd like to see more of this. Thank you.